All right, people. As promised, what we want you to know is to look at two examples of using the synthetic method in place of the polynomial long division. But just for practice sake, I'd ask that you try both methods just to kind of reinforce, that both work and that you're comfortable. You can use one to check the other. But we'll have two questions. I'm going to start off with the first one that reads 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 5x plus 4. And we're dividing that by x minus 2. Effectively here, we're going to start by finding our root, right, or a 0. Let me get my pencil on here. As usual, it is a thing I forget to do. So root, if you will. All right, we should be good now. So the root here, given that I have x minus 2 as a divisor, I want this to be equal to 0. Then x is going to be equal to 2. Then we can set up our synthetic process. We're going to put 2 here for synthetic method. That's our 0 or our root, and we'll discuss that later as well. And we need the coefficients. The coefficients here are going to be 2 for the x cubed. For x squared, it's going to be 3. For the x, is going to be negative 5. And then our constant is just 4, right? Now, as usual, first step, when we're dividing, given that, of course, our divisor has a coefficient of 1, this term is always going to, this constant here is always going to come down. It's going to be 2 here, right? I am then going to multiply this by my 2 that's here. I'm going to get 4, and I'm going to add. It's always multiply and add. So I get 7 here, then I multiply by my 0 to give me 14. 14 minus 5 should be 9. And we'll multiply by 2 again to get 18, and 4 plus 18 is just 22. So what does that mean? Since we divided a x cubed by a term in x, that means that this is 2x squared plus 7x plus 9 plus 22 over our divisor, because the 22 is our remainder. In the question that we did before, in the prior video, our remainder turned out to be 0 because the divisor x minus 2 was a factor of our dividend. In this case, x minus 2 is a factor. Sorry, I don't remember what the divisor was in the last question, but whatever the divisor was, it might have been x minus 2. It was a factor. This divisor is not a factor of our dividend, and so the remainder here is 22. All right, so you kind of mull over that. If you need to pause, think about it. In the interim, let's move on to the next question. Again, number 2 says x cubed minus 4x squared plus 5x minus 2 is going to be divided by x minus 3. So the first thing to do is to find our root, or our 0. And if x minus 3 is equal to 0, this implies that the root is just 3. Cool. All right, do our little setup here. We have our 3, that's our 0, and we're going to take coefficients. Coefficient of x cubed being 1, coefficient of x squared being negative 4, coefficient of x being 5, and our constant being negative 2. We're dragging that 1 down, all the way down, and then we're going to multiply it by our 3. It's always multiply and add. 3 times 1 is 3. Adding, we're going to get negative 1. Multiply that by 3. We're going to get negative 3. Adding, we're going to get 2. Multiply that by 3. We're going to get 6. And adding, we should get 4. Quick process, we divided an x cubed by an x. So we should end up with x squared. So this is 1x squared minus a term in x plus a constant and plus a remainder of x minus 3. Hopefully comfortable. Again, I'm going to, find some more questions for you. I'm going to get us to go through these because I want you comfortable with this method as well. At some point, I'm going to look at questions in the synthetic method where the coefficient of our divisor, in terms of x in the divisor, is not 1. But right now, I need you comfortable. So I'll do a couple more videos with examples. And once you're comfortable, then we can look at that fringe case, that case that you, again, won't necessarily need to do using synthetic method. It's not me telling you one method is better than the other, but you need to have the ability to choose which method you're using. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.